1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, Sheriff. 3, that was
How did your ears sound?
Ready, 3, and take 2. On 2, 2, you're on.
We'll edit that.
Jackass!
Brilliant. All right, welcome once again to the Showtech Show, filming live, apparently, on February 22nd, 2015, from the Lone Star Webcast Network. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the pitfalls of budgeting for a live show, little things that producers always seem to forget when they're making that happen. Some insider tips from the pros here on the panel. And as well, we're going to be talking about, we got our buddy Harvin's going to be on the phone with us later on today, calling us live from New Braunfels, Texas, down south at the Faust Hotel and Pubbery, I guess. But anyway, yes, he'll be with us shortly. And as always, I'm Rick Harr, your managing producer for the network and host of the Showtech Show, alongside, to your left, my co-host Scott Davis of Scott Davis Sliding Designs. I screw that up every time. Anyway, on the board, Jordan, we got a camera on you today. Is that correct? Oh my gosh, look at them. Sorry, folks, but we thought it was only fair that he gets equal billing. Hey. Wow, that was awkward. So, great topics tonight, great people as always. And up first, we're going to take a look around the news this week and latest events and a little segment we like to call Next. Awkward pause. All right. So, this week, let's see. Who wants to go first? Scott, you had some neat stuff.
Oh, did I? I had some very neat stuff.
I've got it here if you don't remember.
Which one was I doing first?
Well, first of all, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention it's Oscar night. So props to all of y'all out there in live internet TV land for not watching that and watching us instead, the real magic.
Unfortunately, none of the products that I'm going to talk about tonight
are Oscars related.
Oscars related.
One of mine actually is. See, I had the forethought to do a little tie-in work, so I'm better than you.
Oh, really?
I am.
Okay.
Do you have, what are your thoughts on Oscars this year? I haven't really, I think the only thing that's even eligible that I've seen this year is Birdman, which I watched last night. So, not really staying on top of the
I work in live theater, so I don't get to see much.
If it's not on Broadway, it's crap, right?
I haven't seen a lot of movies this year. I don't think I've seen any.
I don't get out much.
Hey, that Frozen thing that your kids keep making me watch is okay.
Oh, yeah, I got the little ones upstairs watching that for the umpteenth millionth time. I don't know how that doesn't win.
It's got to.
For Best Animated Series guaranteed to make a parent go out of their damn mind, it's Frozen! Oh! That's good. You're not going to go to the camera on that one, Jordan? Regale us some more. So yeah, my related news to the Oscars then, since I'm going to go say next to the Oscars.
Okay, next.
That still did not work.
I love it when the camera comes out to him.
I'm still trying to figure
Now, to be fair, Jordan is learning a very new camera system here.
Yeah,
we're state of the art at the Lone Star, and we're really cutting edge technology. So he's wading into it, trial by fire here. So you might occasionally see a mispunch.
I think I'm ready to do this next. So let's just say next again.
Pretend I just said next.
Next.
All right. Wow. See, the magic.
Yeah, that works better.
So my related news was I saw through a Twitter advertisement this week. Actors names are now available. So if you want to have your own website and you are an actor or actress, you can have your name .actor.
Just what we need.
Just a little cheesy domain thing, but hey, I mean, there's still people out there on MySpace, so kick it up a notch. Get yourself a .actor name domain. Blah. Anybody want to talk about that, or?
Yeah, no.
You know, well, the .actor is so it's like basically you're saying some actor's name, like Bruce Willis. Would be www.brucewillis.actor.
You could do that, yeah.
What's the point? I mean, not that many.
The point is they want to sell some more domain names, and all the .coms are taken.
Okay. Next.
All right. Fair enough.
Seriously, who cares?
It's Oscar night. I don't care.
Yeah, it's Oscar.
That was my way of tying it in.
Oscar.
If there were actors watching tonight, then they're not real actors. Because some of the actors are going to be watching the Oscars tonight.
Really, don't DVR that and break it down?
Oh.
Are they live tweeting it?
No, I don't know. I like the arrow. That was really cool.
What was it? I don't know.
Did we have a...
We had an arrow flying everywhere. It was, oh!
Why not?
Wow.
Are we losing it?
No, we're good. We're still good.
Scott, tell me about Behringer's new... Behringer's White Zinfandel?
X32 has been out for a while, actually. I think it's 3 years now. But
Breaking news.
the exciting part is they've come out. They had a digital snake that was out that was only...
That was my nickname in high school.
There you go. That was 16 channels. Now the X32 is 32 channels
It's right
total.
And this is
There's
we're looking
that
at it in
bad boy.
life size now. Is this
Life
correct?
size. That's how big the board is.
They haven't worked on their miniaturization very well.
They have now come out finally with a snake that will carry every channel that goes to the board. So you can Cat 5 to your stage now over 300 feet away.
Oh, gorgeous.
All your inputs run through the new digital snake. It also has what they've proprietarily made, which is called Ultranet, which will plug into the playback monitors so that your people can do in-ears in the band loft or wherever.
Oh, like a little Wi-Fi network, basically?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
gorgeous.
Not to name names, but the Aviom system or the earbuds system that's out there right now, it's basically the exact same thing. It's just their own proprietary language, and it carries 4 Ultranet outputs, so you can do up to 16 of those stations. You can literally do an entire band now with one Cat 5 cable.
Yeah, well, Cat 5 bands were huge when they came to the projector world, just not having to run your home runs on 5-wire cable or even digital. A little freaking Cat 5 cable, and you've got all your signals run.
HDMI to Cat 5, RGB, VGA to Cat 5 all became really, really big because of the fact that you could do 300 to 500 foot runs. You put a repeater in the middle, and you can go 1,000 feet with this stuff.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, an operation like ours, we could set up out in the parking lot in a van and then run a couple of tactical network cables in the building, and the whole show's set up for us. That's
I've seen a lot of. I've seen these boards quite a bit.
Jordan, I hear you. I can't see you. I don't know if there's a camera we have available.
We have it right here.
Slow fade.
So
very good.
I've seen this board being used quite a bit in different smaller venues that can really afford a bigger board, but they're great boards. What I've seen, through Ethernet control.
$2,400 buys you the X32.
So let me say a couple things. We use a Behringer board here. It's obviously a lot smaller version of that in our system, but it's created a native USB output, so we can take all of our analog sources like these fancy little mics and run them to a digital connection straight into the live feed, which is really nice for recording. Just makes everything a lot cleaner, a lot simpler. And another thing I love about these digital boards, these purely digital boards, is you get an insane amount of buses. So that's huge for mix.
Sorry.
Day job's closed tomorrow for the snowstorm? All right.
Yes.
Good. Mine's not.
Hospitals.
Yeah, well.
Wow.
But what I'm saying is, we've got a phone interview with our buddy Harbin coming up tonight, and the difficulty of that is we have to set up what's called a mix minus. So he hears everything that's going on the show except for himself coming back, because that would be an obnoxious echo and it would sound like trash. So every time you have a setup like that, it requires a separate bus. The X32, it has something like 16 available buses you can mix.
16 available buses.
That's amazing.
Which is absolutely incredible. Yeah. And like I said, each one of those buses goes to their talkback system. So
your talent wants to hear a little more me or whatever, you can do that. Like right now,
yeah,
we're
like
sharing
literally,
a bus
we could be IFBing this through 2 of those, and I would have total control over what I was hearing. Like if I wanted to turn Jordan off.
Wow.
Yeah, he that's something that he would want to do. Really, is just to turn me off and not hear me again.
I want to turn them both off most of the time. But
you guys are turning me off. Next. NAB is coming up for any of you broadcast heads out there in April. I'm starting to see some announcements come out in the emails about getting hotels and travel and all that good stuff booked. Do you guys want to do NAB this year?
I've got my free invite already for the floor, so I will do the.
I desperately want to do that. I'm saving up all of my vacation time like a madman for I'm having a baby in July, so that's kind of breaking news. But yeah, I would love to hit that show. It's been far too long since I've been able to get there, and it's so amazing.
And it shows.
I'm actually
How far along am I?
I'm actually thinking about going this year also for a few days just to check it out and stuff like that.
If Daddy Boy Rich can't make it out there, would you?
Keep on going. I'm sorry.
We should just leave the camera on Jordan all the time. He's like making these crazy gesticulations whenever he's off camera.
I finally got I just did keyboard shortcuts on here, and it's amazing now. I can just do one enter to go to y'all, two enter to go to me, and it's simple.
It's amazing.
So
Neat.
Yeah.
So much tighter switching coming soon.
It's amazing.
Right now.
So anyway, NAB is coming up. Anything you guys are interested about seeing, or do you know of anything? And
What happened?
oh, did you crash the program?
We are off the air.
Totally crashed it?
It shut down. Yeah.
Mm.
How do I? Oh God.
Desktop. There's a shortcut to the Showtech Show Wirecast.
This is. I can't.
Windows 8 giving you trouble? Are we still streaming?
No, it closed the whole program.
That's okay.
Okay.
What is that noise?
That's the air
We're
conditioner.
still streaming. Never mind. It just minimized.
God, I kind of wish we hadn't. It'd be so much funnier if it was just a crash. But that's the magic of live internet television, folks. Is you get to see all these train wrecks happen as they're happening before we get to put our master team of editors on it. So I tentatively want to say next.
I don't even know what we were
Jordan.
Next.
Wow, 2 shows in. This is pretty rough.
It's going smooth out.
Jordan, tell me about this Crossfire tablet. That sounds pretty rad.
Yes, it's a new tablet. This company's actually out of Dallas, Texas. Here.
Oh, no joke.
Locals.
all right.
Integratech.
Integratech. Sounds like the Office Space company.
Yeah.
Integratech. That was also filmed here in Dallas.
Was
Well, weird. Maybe
hold on.
maybe it is them.
So this is what
Was Office Space filmed here?
That's
it was filmed-
that's what I'm hearing from my
It
producer.
was filmed in Irving. A little bit of it's filmed in Irving, Texas.
Really?
Yeah, you can when you see some of the scenes, you can see some stuff in Irving. So.
Cool.
Gotta love that.
The more you know.
So, all right, about this laptop. It's called the Crossfire. It's not only a laptop. It's like a tablet. It's called
Tablet, yeah.
Tablet. It's called a Crossfire Pro, and it's customizable. That you can customize anything you want to with it, and then you can do upgrades with it later on. It's pretty easy to upgrade and stuff like that.
He's getting
you can.
excited.
He's bouncing. Wow. No, this is a cool thing. I don't know if you got the screenshot available that you can pull up.
Hold on a second. Let me get that up real quick.
But I'm a big fan of modular technology, and that's something that's sorely lacking in the laptop space, and especially the tablet space. That's the deal behind this sucker.
Well,
is you can trade out everything. It's a shell.
And that's, you're right, that is the one thing that has been missing. HP came out with that, the flip top thing, which was kind of cool. I like that because you could actually draw and stuff like that.
A little more multi-purpose.
But it's not module based.
Yeah, this sucker you can swap you can swap out the processor, the memory, the camera, like all, it's designed to be upgradable as technology changes. They're going to supposedly keep these modules coming out, so you just put in the latest hardware and your shell remains the same. I don't know how cost effective that is, but I do like the idea of a multi-mission tablet. So if you have one base, it's kind of like my GoPro camera, for example. It's got a billion accessories, but you kind of kit it out for whatever job that you're doing that particular day. I don't know if I would look at that as a long-term survivability thing. I'd probably just go buy the new iPad, 2 years later at $500 when it comes out versus, buying a $12,000 tablet and swapping out customized modules. But there's some real opportunity there for having hot swappable hardware. It's kind of related. Have you guys seen the Google Project Aria? I think that's what it's called. It's their it's a modular cell phone that they want to build, an Android cell phone. Same thing. You basically just buy a main board, and it's like $50 or $100, something like that. And you can choose the processor you put on it, you choose the camera sensor you put on it, you choose the screen you put on it, and they're these little tiles that you just move around. So if you want a big screen and nothing else, you do that. If you want big speakers, you put a big speaker module on there and smaller screen. So it's totally customizable. If you want a big honking Wi-Fi antenna, and that's more important to you than a lot of memory space, you know. So that's even cooler, and I kind of think this Crossfire tablet has that kind of potential where it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. It's a what's important to you. You know, here's a generic platform, and we'll customize
Well,
it.
especially for us, where
Yeah.
there are times where we need a lot more storage capacity and stuff like that. Or
Yeah.
just has to be faster.
Well, and that's the one thing that you can do is you can totally upgrade the RAM on it to make it whatever speed you want. You can upgrade the hard drive, anything else that you need. It could totally. There's a shot of it right
There it
there.
is. Isn't she gorgeous?
So it's easily. It runs on two or three different OSs. So you can put like a Windows system, a Linux system. I forgot what the other one was. It's another like a Explorer system or something like that. So it totally can run off two
So
systems.
yeah, even the OS is swappable.
Yeah, so
Pretty
it's
cool.
it's pretty interesting that you can totally upgrade it and like just usually on. I'm sorry,
I think that's real interesting that you can swap OSs.
Yeah. So you're not married to. I mean, obviously the Integratech platform doesn't exist, so they're able to load Android or Windows Phone or whatever you like on there. Pretty decent. Yeah. I don't know. You probably won't see an Apple iOS available for it. But,
don't know.
They keep that pretty locked down, but I'm sure somebody will port it.
I think Apple basically has just they don't want to release any of their
No,
software.
they
They're
have no motivation to do
specifically
that.
for themselves.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
Is that well? That's awfully smart, though.
Well, yeah, because Apple makes all their stuff from the ground up. Their laptops, the only thing that go out of is Intel and maybe hard drive, but everything else is totally an Apple-based system. It's not like a Windows where you're mixing with a Dell PC and or any other PC. Windows, Microsoft only just makes the operating system, while Apple makes the computer from the ground up to support the operating system.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little smoother transition.
So I throw out that $12,000 price point. I don't think that's entirely accurate. Do you have a number on how much this sucker costs?
well-
It's still in beta, right? It's not.
Yeah, and it's still in beta testing right now, so they really don't know. I mean, there's not that much pricing on it yet.
So our sources are telling us it's probably not going to be $250,000. But,
No, and plus they've done some drop tests on it where they actually throw the whole system thing on the ground as hard as they can, and it still functions great. So it's good for maybe a construction job where people are going to be like,
this is definitely, well, it's a pro model. It seems like it's something that would compete more with those Panasonic Tough Books,
Yeah.
that the military loves to use in all the tactical teams. Chat room's telling us we never went off the air and we look good and sound good. So thank you for that feedback, live audience. We appreciate that, and we're sorry that we suck.
I'm fired probably after this. So
No, dude, you're like our most heavily trained engineer at this point, so please don't leave.
Next.
Okay, next. Hotkey that.
Yeah,
Hotkey
hotkey
that
that.
sucker.
Hotkey that.
I will work on hotkeys on that.
I want to talk about drones again. We had a nice little drone discussion last time, and I was kind of digging that. But
Yeah.
I've been seeing these advertisements for something called the Iris Plus, I guess, drone. And this is a
Yes.
quadcopter. You don't put the GoPro on it and whatnot. But this is one of the first few models. There's a couple of these out there coming out. That it's actually a drone. People like to call their little quadcopters drones.
Got a little picture of that right
That's total bullshit. They're not. They're basically RC helicopters.
Yeah.
But this sucker is actually an autonomous drone. It basically pairs to a Bluetooth phone, and it will follow you at a set altitude and film you. So I was reading in Red Bull's publication about how bikers like to use these things so they can have basically a trailing camera crew behind them as they're doing these stunts. They've got an aerial cam following them on the cheap, and I think that's pretty cool. And the first example of an actual drone for civilian use that I've ever seen. I think probably even more so than the military drones. I mean, I'm sure there are some autonomous ones, but the unmanned combat vehicles you seem to hear about, those are certainly manned. They're controlled. I guess they're built to be on orbit, which is where the drone name comes from. When I hear drone, I'm thinking something that's an autonomous thing.
But I was in the Navy when they started using drones, and all they were glorified RC.
Yeah. Well, that's where the industry got a start for military
Yeah.
application. It was basically someone said, why don't I put a grenade on this helicopter, and boom.
And that's the amazing.
Thank you,
fact-
Congress.
The amazing fact of that, though, is we had Tomahawk cruise missiles, which were autonomous. They run and think on their own.
Yeah.
They look at stuff and.
This is where we need the Terminator soundtrack coming. Every time we talk about drones.
That's
Go, go, go,
blow up.
Go, 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 go.
It's a very neat product. I love the fact that you can pair it to your phone and have it follow you.
Yeah, I think that's decent. And now that the FAA has apparently approved the...
You have to admit that's cool.
I would do that. Yeah,
I would
think
do it.
that's, yeah, so...
I would definitely do it.
All right, Jordan, go ahead and jump on and order 3 for us.
Oh, yeah.
What was that again? Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the
Can
drones.
I have a
But-
company credit card?
Yeah. It's like,
We just got new
the Lone
chairs.
Star credit card.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
they're nice
you guys,
chairs.
we're not sitting in the
We got
the
new
pit
chairs. We
anymore.
may as well get new drones.
Yeah, all right, let's blow it up, right?
All right.
Have a few drones flying in here and stuff like that. That would be great.
Yeah, that wouldn't be distracting at all. Wow, yeah, thank
so-
you for joining us.
I mean, do you think at some point, with all the way this drone business is and everything, that, you know, with the last Sunday, you know, we were broadcasting last Sunday, the FAA came out with new regulations about drones. I mean, is it just going to be a thing that will phase out after some point with video world? Like,
You think
will there be-
drones will become like kind of a bit that nobody's doing anymore, and it's like, all right, we're over that.
It's almost like
No, but I think the selfie stick is not long for this world. That is ridiculous. Please stop using
Have you
those.
watched?
I actually used the selfie stick when I was skiing in
For
Colorado.
video or for still shots?
Both. I actually used
The still shots actually look pretty rad. I saw some of those from the ski lift that you put on, and those were good. I can't.
Was that with the selfie stick?
Yeah, it was with the selfie stick. I actually had my GoPro set, which I didn't know this until I researched it, that you can record and take pictures at the same time. So I was recording at 720, 120 frames because I can like the slow-mo part of it and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it looked pretty good. And the selfies, you know, the selfie stick, the pictures look really good. I haven't looked at. I mean, the video's okay. It just, I think video with the selfie stick is kind of pointless. I mean, it could be used as a tripod maybe, but other than
Yeah.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will say the footage that you get from selfie sticks isn't horrible, but you look like such a jackass going. I mean, do not do that.
But first,
I was
let me
in
take a selfie.
I was in Manassas this past year, and there was the first person I ever saw with a selfie stick. Sitting there, she's taking pictures of herself and her boyfriend, and I was like, we now have a total excuse to not talk to people at all.
I wouldn't talk to you if you're
Could
using a
you
selfie
take
stick.
this photo for us, please? No need anymore. Hang on.
Well, all I'm saying is, would you rather have a selfie stick or an autonomous drone?
I would rather have a drone.
There you go. Oh, let's get a shot. Hold on. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
Ooh, I'm getting better at that.
Yeah, man, that was good.
That's probably
Punchline.
the cleanest transition today.
Scott, you're up with some crazy Russian spotlight. The Roby Bmuffle.
Oh, the BMFL.
BMFL, the big,
The big
light.
motherfucking light.
Yeah.
No, this thing is
I hope the FAA is not listening.
stinking incredible. Look at that thing. Look at that aperture at the front.
It is a cannon.
It is a 40,000 lumen.
Wow.
40,000 lumen out of a 1500 arc lamp. It does.
And it's all LED.
everything. No.
It's Russian. Are you kidding me? There's actually a fire inside of it.
It's not actually Russian, they're Czech, okay?
Oh, really? The only thing, I say they're Russian because the only thing I
Big
could find on it was a
difference.
Russian promo video on YouTube, and it's like, big bright light.
They are
Okay, yeah.
they are Czechoslovakian. It's got the CMY capability. It's got rotating gobos. It's got a zoom that's out the wazoo. It goes down to like a 7 degree, and then it's as wide as almost a 60.
What
So,
would you use that for? Give me an example.
Literally, I would use that whenever would
Stay
do a
Puft Marshmallow
concert.
Man's walking down the street and you need to get a good light on.
If I was doing a concert, I would probably put it on truss right next to the
Audience blinders. Yes.
Well, no, right next to the soundboard operator, and every time he pissed me off, I would just have him.
Just melt him, just fries him instantly. Pretty rad. Any idea what those suckers will set you back?
Yeah, those suckers are gonna set you back
In rubles.
$18,000.
Really, that's not awful for, like, what would a 40K projector throw you back?
Well,
Probably a lot worse than that.
Well, actually, the only light that's comparable to it that even comes close is the Mac Viper, and the Vipers right now are running between $15,000 to $17,000. So it's only about $1,000 more, and you get 20,000 more lumen. And
Two for the price of one is very
the
good
thing
deal.
about it is that you've got the 1,500 watt lamp, but they're burning extra power through it to get the lumens.
That's so Russian.
So this 2,000 hour lamp only lasts 500 hours when you
put your lights in
when
war
you're in
mode.
super bright
Yeah.
mode.
That's what you do when the producer's like, I need more light, I need more light. All right, throw the safety switch.
But for those of us lighting designers that are always asking for a brighter light, it's here.
That's it. You just leave it in your back pocket. You know it's there, but when they're like,
It's here.
you just flip it on and just for once, just watch their jaw just drop.
You have to plug it into 2 houses because there's not enough power to run it.
That's what caused Chernobyl.
But it's bright.
Next, that's good. That's good.
Thank you.
And I think the last bit we have on our news item for tonight is, just a cute little thing. I wanted to talk about Magic Leap, a little company that's doing augmented reality in strange and enticing new ways. You guys familiar with augmented reality? It's similar to virtual reality, but it's the kind of the Google Glass concept. You've got a virtual overlay of fake stuff in the world.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Last week, didn't we get into this virtual reality stuff?
See, I'm thinking outside the box, man. Can you imagine what you could do with that in theater?
And didn't that get
Imagine
next,
props
like,
you don't have to pay.
really quick because nobody really cares?
You could have a tiny, tiny elephant in the
Yeah,
palm
look
of
at
your
that.
hand.
Look at that. Just a
How
tiny
amazeballs
elephant.
would that be?
That'd be awesome.
All right. Read about it on the internet. Next. Now we're going to go into our main topic of the night. Yes, thank you for that bumper that I made that shamed me so badly. So we've all been on gigs where just somebody misses an amazingly, glaringly horrible thing that really should have been thought through at the pre-production meetings, and now there's nothing for it. So that's the topic for tonight, Bumper.
Sorry.
Oh, it's always good when the director goes, what? So yeah, the point we just tonight wanted to talk about things. Maybe this is pro tips from guys who've done it a few times. For people out there, maybe this is your first time as an event planner. You want to be a producer. You want to do some light broadcast, and you're just kind of winging it all. These are some things that you're probably going to forget to think about, and it's best to do it ahead of time rather than get to the show site and say, "Oh crap." So I'll lead off the discussion because I think I invented this one. You guys are not really tracking me. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Sort of?
I got the topic
Not
about
awful.
budgeting. Stuff like that.
I think we've all got the topic, but go ahead.
All right. So
Lead on.
Lead off, because you can lead on because you're talking about pre-show planning.
there you go. That's a good place to start.
You
So pre-show, and I put this in the show notes as pre-show planning, but really what I'm talking about is like literal pre-show. Like you've got the event planned, you've got your great opening, you've got these sick bumpers you've built that nobody seems to know where they're located on the board, but you've got everything all worked out. But you get to the show and you've got maybe an audience full of 10,000 people waiting to see this live thing, and you haven't really come up with anything to entertain the live group pre-show. Like, you've got no music, you've got no stage act. It's like, everybody just sit in your chairs for half an hour, and good luck with that. You guys ever encountered anything like that? Just no forethought to what you're going to do before the actual program?
Did you see the first 3 Showtech shows we've ever done?
I've got pre-show music. I've got some good stuff. You can do a sound check. You can make sure you're seeing color bars. You can do a quick monitor calibration if you want to. That's damn entertaining.
I think everyone runs into that at some point in time. How do you stop it?
Well,
it's all in the planning.
Yeah, that's what this is about. It's just kind of things, try to catch the producers early. If you start seeing these things being teed up, if you have any sort of design input or production management.
There's a few people that we've worked with in the past where there was no pre-planning. There was no sitting down with your people. There was no knowing what he was going to bring in the truck.
Or there's too little. It's just a matter and I think it's very easy to get tunnel vision on show production, especially if you're kind of new at it, to just focus on the meat of what the CEO's keynote.
Yeah.
The opening scene that's got a lot of pyro. The big guest speaker in your house of worship.
Always have 2 spare computers because somebody's going to need it to redo notes. There's 150 things that you learn when you're doing this stuff. Those of you that actually think ahead of time are the ones that are going to make it in this business, and those of you that don't, you'll just get a bad reputation and nobody will want to use you.
Whoa! Tell me about tech quality. That was your idea in the notes. Technician quality or technology quality?
I think it's tech quality as a whole.
On the whole,
boosting your quality level. People start to perceive you differently. It's like when you go to see a show and you look up and every light is just white.
Yeah.
Nobody put any time into that. Nobody put the extra effort into creating something that's going to be fun and liked, which is why I think the shows that us 3 have done. Hey. This is your studio.
You're the LD, Scott. Okay.
But the shows that we've
taking the care
past,
just to kick it up a notch in the quality, get a little bit more art than science.
It's that little bit of extra that you do.
Doesn't necessarily have to break the bank, not without budgetary consideration, but very little for the effect that you get and for the impression that you leave. Right?
But seriously, if you're putting on a show, think about your budget. Think about the fact that your LD is going to want to buy $200 worth of gel. Think about those facts. Don't go into the show looking like an idiot because you sat back and went, well, I'm only making $2,400 off of this.
Yeah, that kind of headroom gets eaten up really fast if you don't. I guess that's true. That's what you want to do, is just account for headroom. Have a little bit of extra room.
Account for headroom.
You don't know what you don't know. No matter how good you are, there's always going to be something that could use tweaking or last minute salvage. Your stream could crash right in the middle of your show. What are you going to do?
Or the screen minimizes.
The hardest part about getting quality out of your employees is when your employees see that the person that's producing it really doesn't give 2 craps about what's going on. He cares about getting the check at the end. Yeah. Take pride in your work. Go the extra mile every time. We did a show in Fredericksburg where we actually had a bunch of color in the auto show.
I am hazy.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember that shit.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think I had you hang all the lights.
Yeah, I did. And I remember going on a lift and going like this whole spinning the pattern of the Source 4 around.
Yeah.
Clock it. Clock it.
Taught him well.
He's a man of many talents.
Whoa. You know, that's where I got my nickname from that show.
Yes, that's the genesis of Jackass, I believe.
I do believe it is.
The very beginning of it. Yep, that's where it is.
I tried to give your nickname away, but it didn't work.
I fought for it, and I kept it.
It's all you.
Why not?
It's mine.
Okay, Jordan, this is a good point. Thinking about your delivery and distribution channels.
Yeah, we always think about on a live stream, or not even a live stream, but live programming, the way of how are we going to deliver it to the viewers out there. Mostly news and stuff like that, they deal with satellite and microwaves. But satellite time's pretty expensive, you know, and you have to reserve a time because not everybody has a satellite up in the sky. You know, some of the major networks do and stuff like that. But you know, Channel 8 here in Dallas doesn't have a personal satellite up there. They basically buy time, and you had to buy a window of time, say 5 hours, 10 hours, or stuff like that, and work your block that way. For local stuff right here, you know, you do a microwave. So Channel 8 has a microwave, you know, when they're doing a live transmission from Fort Worth back to Dallas or something like that. It's a microwave system. That's why they had the microwave trucks and stuff like that to beam it back. What I've seen more and more, what the way news is going now, I've seen this in Mexico, honestly, when I was in Mexico. It's basically using 4G data or LTE data to do
air cards bonded together to make a way of backhauling it wirelessly.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're basically transmitting it back through the internet. Up front, that system's probably really expensive at the upfront cost, but
versus a microwave van, I guarantee that's not the case.
I was guessing
a satellite uplink, probably not.
Yeah, exactly. Satellite uplink or microwave van, all that stuff, components for that is going to be more expensive in the whole long-term run than it is just to get a small little backpack that you can wear that has a 4G data or LTE data transmitter in there for. You know, it's going to be a little cheaper than a microwave or a satellite truck than it is up front.
Now, I would imagine that the concept of getting your content to the intended audience, that's not really something that tends to be forgotten very much in the production world, because that's pretty mission critical if you think about it. You're not going to get a job done if you don't have a way for the intended recipient to see it. But I do think that there's a lot to be said in this category for the pitfalls of not understanding your chosen delivery method, especially with the tons of options that are available nowadays, and especially the newer technologies like the internet delivery, the unintended costs with those, the unintended, contingencies, you know, say your cellular signal's just not there. What do you do now, you know?
You always have to have a redundant platform to use. But to go back to the timing and the satellite thing, I did the NHL All-Star game not too 6 years ago, something like that, and it became a problem when you have 15 news organizations and only one satellite to bounce off of.
Interesting.
Like all of us at Rogers Sportsnet, who I was working with at the time, we were slated to only having a half an hour of uplink time. So all of our stories had to be done, ready, to go 10 minutes before we logged in.
That hardware has limited bandwidth, and
very limited.
That's why the
bandwidth.
cost is at such a premium.
That's why the LTE network idea is really starting to go a long way. CNN's broadcasting.
Yep.
And I mean, you could tell when you watch CNN, some of the quality is crap. But I
think I'm okay with that. I feel like we're going down a little sidebar here, but that's what this show's all about. So we talk until the beer runs out.
Hey.
But I think we're kind of entering an age where the razor sharp quality of something that's breaking and something that's hard to get footage from is acceptable to the masses now. I mean, a lot of people get their most interesting information off of sources like YouTube and cell phone video and things like that. And if what you're filming is compelling enough, you really don't need to have any kind of fidelity whatsoever. I mean, obviously more is better.
People pay $150 a month for cable, and it's digitized 3/4 of the time.
Yeah, you don't know what quality is, suckers.
Okay, so like even yesterday, NASA did their basically a first spacewalk.
Sounds like he's getting smaller.
It does.
Do I? Sorry. So NASA did their spacewalk yesterday. The first one of the spacewalks from the space station area. And how it's being broadcasted was through Ustream yesterday. Something that's a free and simple way.
Yeah, standard definition Russian camera. It was awful.
Yeah, I think it looked pretty good from my stream.
It's hard to make orbital video look
HD.
bad. It's pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it was. I was looking at the shots. I think it was a square aspect ratio, pretty fuzzy standard definition camera.
Huh.
Really?
They look pretty good from whatever.
Because I
link
think they were
clicked on.
outside of a Russian module, seriously, and it wasn't one of the HD cupola cameras. That they've got.
Russians.
They actually do have a full-time, a 24/7 HD downlink from the space station. It looks gorgeous. I think you get some awesome footage. Yeah, but that was not it. I've seen HD. That's no HD.
So I mean, I think in the end run that the delivery method, it has to be factored in for just your pricing and stuff like that. This one, all from pre to production to post, anything like that. But mostly in live production.
And the last thing I wanted to say on this topic, and just to tie it up with a bow, craft services.
Oh,
Feed your crew.
amen
For
to
the love of
that.
God. You can't have a 2-day setup and not have any decent food or drinks to these people or expect them to show up on their own. I've always been an advocate, I believe, of what I call human engineering as the engineering element here on the show. And you can do all you want to make sure your broadcast stays up, to make sure your cameras are great, make sure your lighting grid holds up, the power's there. But if your crew's falling out because they're overworked and underfed, you ain't got a show,
Hey,
sucker.
for instance, like tonight, we have some chili. That's in the
Yes,
fridge,
my lovely
so-
wife Sheena upstairs. She prepared chili for the crew. It was it's a cold night out there. It's raining and it's cold, and these people showed up to do their best for us. And so she's got a piping hot bowl of chili that she accidentally made too much for. So yeah, we were thinking about you kind of after the fact, and we're really glad to offer that. Chili's
I bet it's
good.
gonna be
It's really good stuff. Yeah.
Never mind the ice storm that's happening outside. Go ahead and stay for
You still
another
have to
hour.
sleep outside, but we're gonna give you a nice little care package when we kick you out the door.
Don't worry about that 30-mile drive home. Have a bowl of chili.
Well, this is normally the part where we would transition into a little ad spot, and we're not quite selling ad space on this show yet. We're still kind
Why
of feeling
not?
it out. I don't know. I think it's because I charge too little. People just can't believe it. But yes, space is available for advertising, but I did want to take a second to talk about one of your little private ventures on the side.
I don't do anything.
You've got some lovely merchandise for sale, merchandising.
For those of you that are actors, directors, lighting designers, sound designers, any of that crap, please come buy my mugs.
Buy my mugs.
We have these fabulous
These are
mugs.
great. These are hilarious. I love these. It reminds me of a lot of that Roadie Rags place that went out of business.
Roadie Rags was great.
Yeah, those things that really just technical people get. Well, now you can get them in mug form. You've got some T-shirts on there, I see. Some good stuff. You're actually wearing one tonight, aren't you? Is this one of your company shirts?
This is.
The back
do
reads,
believe
"Life
that.
is a freak show." Is that in glow in the dark paint? Oh no, it's reflecting the green screen. Okay.
No.
Anyway, but yeah, life is a freak show. We just light it. Just
No,
good little
that's-
quippages like that. Hilarious.
That is my next venture, though. I want to do these in glow in the dark.
That's brilliant. I just made that up.
I think you're good.
So, all right.
I'd hire you.
So this is the part where I start talking
we didn't
really
tell 'em where to go.
slowly. Oh yes, do give him the website.
It is
This is Zazzle.
www.zazzle.com
// DAVSND.
Yes.
Yeah, Zazzle's a good company. I've used them in the past. I think
Go buy my
actually-
mugs.
I think we've got like mouse pads and stuff through them still.
All one of you.
Yes.
Go buy my
Tell your
mugs.
friends. But yeah, there's no finer way to drink coffee. But anyway, what I was going to say, this is the part where I've got to tee up our phone call with Harvin.
Yep, he's ready. And
He
standing
is.
by.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, Harvin.
I did
Tuning
look at
in, Harvin.
producers.
Are you there? Yes, I am here. That's really quiet. Let's see if we can pot him up.
Hello?
Hello, I am here.
I mean, we can hear you, but we can't hear you.
Okay, well, I'm.
Hold on. It's not your
I
fault.
don't know what to tell you.
Harvin, it's not your fault. Trust me. Have
Harvin's
you been watching
us
the show?
live from the Faust Hotel in New Braunfels, Texas, where he's currently stationed for drape duty. Did you just hang up on me?
I think he just did.
Wow.
Yeah,
Shortest
you little
interview
jackass.
ever.
Thank you very much, Harvin.
Well, Selma, see if you can ring up Mount Pilot for us one more time. We'll get Harvin going here on the phone.
Is he living in a hotel?
No, he's drinking in a hotel.
Thank you.
He's joining us from his favorite haunt down there. Really cool haunted hotel, actually. They've got some spooky stories. We might check in with them around Halloween time and get more from that scene. Stand by, folks. You're going to hear a loud crackle while he plugs back in the microphone jack.
Yes.
No, I actually have the pod down, so that's
Oh,
not.
all right. See, he knows what he's doing.
Okay, you there, Harvin?
Wow.
Harvin, okay, that's
I
better.
am here.
I don't know
Excellent.
what is
Who's
it.
producing this thing?
What is this amateur stuff?
It'll be somebody different next week.
Yeah, since I'm fired.
How is everybody doing up in Dallas?
Doing good, man. It's good to hear from you. Thanks for joining us for the second week back here in a row. You were active in our chat room last time and had some good insight as to our lack of quality and professionalism, and we're glad to have you back for more of the same.
How is our
That's what I'm here
favorite?
for, guys.
How is our favorite drapist? Can you still do 10 feet at one stick?
Whoa.
Wow.
You guys talk to the marketing
Still
department down
point
there.
direct
Like that.
people, other people to hang some lights.
Hey, by the way, we won't
Anyways,
mention what company you work with.
Well, Harvard, tell us a
I
little bit
don't want
about
to
yourself.
mention any companies that I've ever worked
Oh,
with.
not on this show. Yeah. This is like resume
That's
killer right here.
embarrassing, guys.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, sir. We've got you faunted on the screen as a pipe and drape expert, but we know you do. You're kind of a jack of all trades. as well.
how to lay pipe.
He's a master drapist.
I am. Yes, I can lay some pipe.
Okay,
But,
super awkward. No, so that's your day job, is you do scene setting and that sort of thing for special events. Large company down
Yep.
there in the Soutex area, but
Absolutely.
you've
Corporate
been on the
special
road a
events.
lot with us, and you've done probably more roles than you would care to name. But what are some of your favorite things that you've been able to do in the show tech world?
He hung lights for me.
Camera
I said favorite.
assistant, audio assistant, stuff like that. Never got to be like A1 or, LD or anything crazy
Is that something
like
you're
that.
working
but,
toward? You want to be in the hot seat
Is
someday
that your
and take
goal?
over?
Is that what
Not
you
so
want?
much, no.
See, I have always said
Not
that
so
Harvin
much.
strikes me as the producer type. You got enough knowledge about what's going on that I think you could lead a crew and keep an eye on the strategic vision of what's going on. So one of these days,
I feel you're correct on that. I do, because, that's what I'm working towards. Eventually, I want to get there.
Do they have you
But,
running
still
the
gotta
place
learn
down
TV.
there yet?
Oh, no, I'm pretty much.
essentially, yeah,
me
from
and,
what I
I got
understand,
one other
he's-
guy, and we're running
he's
the
it,
whole South
man.
Texas area, so
Yeah. Very
Good
cool.
on you.
that's what's going on.
So, but in that same thread of being a producer one day, we're talking tonight, we started off talking tonight about things that producers tend to forget when they budget. And you've seen a pretty good variety of shows out there. What kind
Oh,
of...
God.
What was that?
Did you?
Oh, man.
Did you drop the phone in the beer?
What happened? Hello?
No.
Okay.
No.
I just heard it. Oh,
I'm
okay.
fine. I don't know what's going on your end.
I
I'm
thought
fine.
Oh,
you-
you're saying like, oh my God, oh my.
I heard a ruckus.
Oh wait,
And I was like,
are you saying that you've
No,
been a
where
part
do I
of bad
start?
shows?
Oh, you're talking about that. Like, where do I start?
Oh,
I thought it's like, oh my God.
Where do I
that was an
begin?
audible sigh. But yeah, tell us some things that producers, novices out there might tend to forget if they're planning out a show or failing
Well-
to plan out a show.
Pretty much everything. Sometimes.
All right, Harvard,
Like
thanks.
they
Thanks for that. We'll come back to you tomorrow.
making up crap as they go. I mean, that's generally a lot of what I see occurs. They just kind of there's zero pre-planning, and you show up on site, and it's kind of like, they're asking you, what do you think? It's just like, well,
Yeah. I think that is the
don't
difference
say on that,
between.
bro.
Well, like Scott here, he's a theater veteran. I consider myself to be pretty heavily invested in the broadcast side of things, and both of those
Absolutely.
industries are pretty well timed to timetables. Everything is very well scripted and cued, and there's not a lot of room for, oh, I didn't think about that, because then that would mean there's a huge blank space in your script. So that's not always
I
the
don't know
case in
how-
live events and things that are kind of unfolding without a real rock solid plan. It's just kind of a loose rundown, something more like you might see on this show, where we're just like, we'll talk about this BS for an hour. But that leaves a lot of room for failure.
Absolutely. And, I mean, legitimately, like, we have these things, we'll call them pop-ups, right? Where
Yes.
I'll get a call, like, the day of, and somebody will go, oh, I need 300 feet of drape all of a sudden.
So that's a pretty good example
How does
of a near miss, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's like, oh, hey, by the way, this. And they go, oh, we have all this uplighting planned and all these, all these gobos planned, but what did you plan to...
Nothing to shoot them on, except for the wall that we assumed would be there. Brilliant.
Exactly. So, I mean, legitimately, like, Pipe and Drape is pretty much an afterthought all the time.
Really? I would. Yeah,
know,
wow. I
and-
guess I could understand that. I would really think that Pipe and Drape is kind of the canvas on which the rest of the event is built. But you're telling me not so much. It's just kind of a
No,
cover
not
up
so much.
for. We didn't realize they'd be doing construction, or there was a obese person's nude beach adjacent to the event. So let's drape
Or
it.
how do we hide this, power drop and all these cables and all this crap back here and Video Village and all that shit?
Let's cover it in heavy drape. That's a genius plan. This is a clear fire hazard. How do we make sure the fire marshal doesn't see it? Cover it in fireproof drape.
And then the best part is that you don't. The best part is like you show up and you go, okay, this is how much it's going to cost. This is how much it's going to cost, and
Yeah, and anybody's ever
they
dealt
go,
with drape
we
before,
don't want
that
to pay
adds
for
up
that. And it's just
quickly.
like, are you kidding me? This is how
the
much
truck's
it costs. You
already
just call us on the
here.
fly.
Wow.
Yeah,
So how many
it happens. So
how many drape
times.
companies have you worked with so far?
2 to 3.
Okay. So we could say that you're like a total professional on drape.
He really is.
Yeah.
He's
He's
middle
a-
management easy. He's been a lead on heavy drape installations.
He's a master.
Sorry for
Very
burning
much
bread
so.
on the microphone. That was awful.
Master drapist.
master drapist.
I like to call
I am
him.
a master drapist. Yes,
He is a
master serial drapist.
confirmed drapist.
Well, it's like that. Well, no,
Alleged
no,
rapist.
I'm sorry, you can't go down that street. It's within 300 feet of a high school.
That's our buddy Harvin.
That's me.
So Harvin,
Sorry,
when you're
guys.
not draping the town red, you've got another little project in mind that you're working on. Something we hope to bring to the Lone Star Webcast Network here in the near future. Tell us a little bit about your vision for this project.
Well, basically what it is, it's going to be a video series on a lot of topics. Very, very, very vast array of topics.
And this is kind of
we
a
have,
how-to, kind of learning.
how-to, history, educational, just still. Because I moved recently, or not recently, about a couple of years ago, to the New Braunfels area of Texas, which is in the hill country, and there's just so much. Growing up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I was not exposed to the culture and a lot of the
The country.
history of Texas. You
just
live
didn't
in the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. What's up?
You just didn't understand what Slitterbahn was about, did you?
No. It wasn't anything about that. It's just basically, there's just so much stuff going on down here that you don't get exposed to when you're living in a major metropolitan area. There is basically just, localized style of music here. They call it Americana, which is basically country music with a lot more folky tones to it.
Like banjos?
And a lot more, well, yeah, there's some of that.
No,
There is
I like
some of
that
as
music.
well,
Actually, I was out on the East Coast for a while down south, and I got into the whole folk blues kind of thing. I was into that. Bluegrass, sorry, not blues. It's a whole
So
different thing.
basically, the video series is going to be me traveling around and just showcasing a lot of the history, showcasing a lot of the, the alternative living styles down here. Because it's not like I'm saying these people are like, 100 years back, but they still have that mentality and that attitude, which is great. That you don't get when you're in a metropolitan area.
That's pretty cool. It
It's not
sounds
like-
very Lone
Now-
Star-y. It's something I'd be.
Are
happy to
you
support.
originally from Texas?
I was actually born in Louisiana, but moved to Texas when I was 3.
As fast as you could, so says the bumper sticker. Right?
Pretty much.
Cool. Well, that like I said, that's a pretty exciting video series. I'd be interested to see more of that. So much so that I'm willing to host it on the network once we actually start getting footage.
Yes, and
But
basically though, I still got to get some resources together. So you can.
like most
I do
media
have a
projects nowadays,
GoFundMe.
yeah, there's a
What's
GoFundMe
that?
account. I think Jordan's got the lower third up there available. Oh, there it is. Here we are.
There you go.
GoFundMe.com/HDP videos. And you can find out how to throw a few bucks Harvin's way so we can start producing these things. Very cool idea. I'd like you to teach the crowd how to do some survival things, how to do some old-fashioned living kind of things, and like you were saying, just kind of a callback to the history of Texas and the local culture that kind of gets lost in the mainstream hubbub of big city living, as we do.
Yeah, and it's just not that. It like I said, it's kind of like Seinfeld, a show about nothing. Well, this is going to be a show about everything. To where basically just, we want to show a lot about history, a lot about just culture, and a lot about music, and I mean just everything really. I mean anything that I can get my hands on is going to be on the show. So that's where that's what I'm working towards.
Very cool. What are some of the things you want to? What are some of the topics you want to hit up first specifically? You got anything in mind?
Well, realistic one is where I'm at right now. This hotel that I'm staying in is the historic Faust Hotel and Brewing Company. This thing's been here since, I believe, like 1921, and it's only been remodeled maybe once ever. And they do a lot of their, brewery, right? So they do a lot of brewing here. They do. I mean, this place is totally haunted. There's great food here.
Cool.
It's a great spot. I mean, there's just. If anybody knows me
interesting
at
people
all,
down
and
there?
Scott, yeah, there's very interesting people. A lot of very colorful people down here.
That's
You know,
something.
and
that's
if
pretty
anybody
cool.
knows me at all, knows exactly how picky I am about my spot. And this by far is like it's tied for first place in spots I've ever been to.
Excellent.
So
Yeah, that's
this
one
right here
place
would
I'm
definitely
ready to
be-
get down and check that out myself, and hopefully get like a field assignment.
I think we're needing a field trip.
Road trip.
Road
There
trip.
you go. Bring it down. We could do a remote broadcast.
I think so. Yeah, we can load up in the White Whale and head that way.
There you go. But no, I mean it's such a cool little area of Texas. I never explored it whenever I was younger, and now that I'm older, I'm just like, wow, this place is awesome.
Like a kid again.
Pretty much, you run. I mean, I've been just running around town for the past 3 years, just trying to, experience and see everything I can and learning everything I can, and hopefully now I can educate others on that.
Very cool. Yeah, I think that's there's stories to be told there, and definitely a cool venue and locale to explore on Vidya. So yeah, that's great. Will you join us again for another episode one of these days? Because it's really cool having you on the phone and talking to you.
man.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
I don't know. I'll talk to my agent. We'll have our people call you and see if we can set something up.
I'll be in my trailer.
Yeah, right.
Are you going to get that .actor URL after HarvardFam.actor?
Oh, that's
Website?
true, right?
Harvard Fan.
Didn't watch that part of the
But
show.
no, definitely. I will definitely be back on the show. And next time I'm back up in Dallas, hopefully I can be there live with you guys.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, Scott and I can build another stool, and you can sit with us.
Yeah.
So I would have stood on Scott's lap.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
My chair
Like
would
a
be
puppet.
my chair would be the only one that would hold it. Trust me.
Mine finished first and started late. So,
Yeah, yours
Oh yeah,
finished
you
first.
were reinforcing it prior to, right?
a little welding can't fix. Well, that'll wind us out. You want to stay on the line, Harvin, so we can kind of wind down the show? And
yeah.
do you have anything
Wind
else
it
you want to talk
down.
about?
Wind it down.
Absolutely. And when do I get my paycheck, by the way?
We're losing you. I can't quite. Jordan, is there anything we can? Oh, that's awful. That's really too bad. We'll have to get back with him later. Oh shit, he's still here.
So
My bit.
oh.
Let me send some feedback to his IFB. Maybe that'll get him to listen.
Yeah.
You got a minute and a half left.
All right.
Close us out.
Play us out, Keyboard Cat. You have the heavy techno music that you're gonna blast your ears with too hot. All right.
8:59, everyone.
All right. So next week on the show, what are we talking about? Getting paid.
Our
Gosh, that's
It's interesting you should say that, Harvey. That's actually what we want to talk
that.
about.
Yeah, Harvard, you got to call in next week about that.
Yeah. All about, I want to talk about some best practices as a freelancer in this business, also some common mistakes, scams to watch out for if you're in this line of work. So join us again next week. Here it's going to be the March 1st show of the Showtech Show, live on the Lone Star
It's
Webcast
also next Sunday.
Network.
It's going to be something special.
FrontierTelevision.com.
All right, and